This is you want me to talk from here? Good afternoon to all of you. Can you hear me on the last? Thank you so much. And let me welcome all of you. And the slide that you are watching is why heart attacks have become so common in young Indians nowadays. Not that this is not a problem for, you want me to check. Not that it is not a problem in Europe also, but we are seeing now more Indians, and when I talk of Indians, we talk of both men as well as women who can suffer from these problems. Though women normally do not suffer heart attacks till the age of their menopause at 45 or 48, but after the menopause, women, they say that could suffer even more than. I have now shared with you the only job of the heart is to pump the blood, and you are asking the heart to do some other job which the heart cannot do. So better change your message on the next 14 February that is coming in 2022. Why I say this? Because if the heart stops doing this work, you will not survive maybe for 4 minutes, 6 minutes or 10 minutes, my dear friends. The heart has blood, there are 4 chambers inside, but outside there is a powerful muscle, just like what we have a calf muscle, but much better and much more sophisticated. This muscle is the one which contracts and relax, and sends your circulation, my dear friends. That circulation for the heart muscle is done by 3 major arteries called the coronary arteries. If these coronary arteries get blocked, then you have a block of the coronary artery which can lead to heart attack. I hope I am clear. Heart attack is like your water pipe which is clogged. This water pipe that we call is the coronary arteries get blocked and you have got heart attack. Any doubts? You can ask me in the question right now. I will clear it. Depending how much is the block, where is the block, the problem. What is then cardiac arrest? You have a car, the car works on a battery, it needs that battery or electrical power. The heart also, you can get what is called as the cardiac arrest. So I will summarize. Heart attack is a plumbing problem. Cardiac arrest is an electrical problem. Now if you ask me why it happens, nobody knows so far. It's under research for so many years. Maybe 1 or 2 I could explain to you a little bit later on. But then these are the 2 problems that we are talking. And when we talk of the plumbing problem, a lot of girls, they don't get their menses every month. And girls, the tea is green tea without sugar. That's the best tea that I can advise you. I do not manufacture green tea, by the way. So understand. Sugar is the cause of all these problems because sugar causes inflammation. Inflammation means cuts. And you are using wrong oil for cooking. I am sure our vice principal also uses oil. Can you tell me, if you don't mind, to share with us what oil that you use for cooking?
I use coconut oil that my mother uses.
Very smart, and that's the reason why she's a vice principal. She uses the coconut oil that her mother prepares. The best oil, let me tell you, is your virgin coconut oil. Virgin coconut oil. This name is because it is wood pressed or cold pressed, and that's why the best oil. But most of the people that I have seen and encountered in Goa, they use refined oil, sunflower, safflower, rice bran, and so on and so forth. And this is one of the cause of all the problems, my dear friends. In the olden days, it was wood pressed. Wood press is also called cold pressed. Do you know why? Because there is no heat. So, the moment you use heat, you lose all the vitamins and minerals, and therefore this is not to be consumed. It costs 200 rupees, and people want to buy a cheap oil which is going to cause all the problems that I have shared now with you. People tell me coconut oil is costly. I buy virgin coconut oil, half a liter, it costs me 350 rupees. It is costly, but the best oil that I can say it for me. You decide which oil you want to buy. But this refined oil is creating a havoc. Now, sugar gives you inflammation, cuts. You can get anywhere in your body. And when you got a wrong oil, deposits of that form what is called cholesterol or lipids, and therefore you get blockages, my dear friend. Now, there can be several reasons for this. We will see when we go through. Why Indians do you think, if an European gets a heart attack at 50, Indians get at 40? Can you tell me why?
They walk a lot.
They walk a lot. It's because of their physical makeup. Our arteries are narrow and their arteries are big because of their entire structure. So understand, we have a predisposition for heart attacks. That's God's, and we cannot do anything about it. Therefore, we need to take more and more care, my dear friends. Unfortunately, heart attacks now are linked to sport, which was not the earlier case. Now I will be talking about these terms which are here. Do not get worried about that. I will simplify it and tell you what it means a little bit later on as we go through that. All of you know about the death of this actor Siddharth Shukla, and people now are thinking, why did it happen to such a young person? Apparently very healthy, yet could it be because smoking, diabetes? Could it be the possible reasons? He had just 40 years earlier. Mandira Bedi's director husband Raj Kaushal, 49, a Gujarati film actor at 47. So the death of celebrities who are there in the 40s is well documented today in our own country, my dear friends. According to the Cardiology Society of India, 25% of people who die of heart attack are under the age of 35. They say that every 30 seconds there is one heart attack, and every 45 seconds one dies of heart problems. These are not very happy figures that I have shared with you. I am sure you have seen this slide earlier. The Euro, which was held recently, and this is a game where one of the players you can see here, his name is Christian Eriksen. You can see him here. He played the ball of a throw-in and collapsed. We had a similar instance in Bengaluru years ago. A player named Cristiano Jr. collapsed, had the same problem, but he died. Though he was taken to the hospital, the doctor said he was brought dead. Can you tell me why this Cristiano survived and why the old Cristiano Jr. died? Ambulance. They did not give proper first aid. Now, this Eriksen survived because you can see here, his friend who was there close by knew what to do. And that's what somebody said, CPR. and you have also to give an electric shock, not this one. It was given the next minute. 4 heart attacks and cardiac arrest. If you don't give prompt first aid in the first 5 minutes, it's a gone case, my dear friends. What I am doing is part 1. What perhaps if you think this is important, you will have to follow it up with part 2, is what do we do should you come across such a problem. He survived because his own colleague knew what to do. Here we say, Dr. Atolo and he will do, ambulance will come and ambulance will take care of. Forget about it. A doctor who is not there at that moment, an ambulance which is not there at that moment cannot save your life. Period. If you want to ask me the question why, please ask. I'll be happy if you ask me more questions than what I talk.
In that case, sir, it was more of a collision with the goalkeeper. And
I am not talking about what prompted, what happened. I am talking about what happened to Cristiano Jr. Whatever, he collapsed, he had a cardiac arrest, he died. Now, lot of people were there, his colleagues were there. I don't have the slides here. There's another presentation, all the slides are there. Even somebody who put his foot on the chest, somebody tried to give him artificial respiration. He was taken to Houseman Hospital. It took about 45 minutes because there was heavy traffic. And the doctor who examined says he was brought dead. If Cristiano Jr. had to be saved, somebody should have been like him to take care of him. You needed to do CPR and you needed to have that machine then and there. In today's matches, cricket or football matches, unless you have got 4 machines, you cannot start the match. I don't know whether the university has got this of having the ambulance and the instrument that is needed.
yes, they have.
If they have, it is good. He says, let us not discuss whether they have what or not, but examine your conscience. Don't defend.
Something they don't have.
Don't defend. What I am also trying to tell you, your college, it would be recommended that you have this instrument called AED, Automated External Defibrillator. Your college must have. And if you ask me a little more, every floor of your college should have one instrument. A life is lost, it is gone. Please understand, without this instrument, you cannot revive the heart from a cardiac arrest. Cardiac arrest is more serious than heart attack. In heart attack, you may not need this machine. For cardiac arrest, without this machine, forget about it. The next minute, this fellow did the CPR. The next minute, the shock was given. CPR was continued in the ambulance, and that is how he survived. You need to have everybody, all those who are here, you should be trained in CPR and AED if you ask me personally. Forget about the cost. Forget about the time. Something happens in your home. Doctor, SSR much begin. You could have saved the person. You could have saved that person. You have to try. Maybe it's a hopeless case, that's a different matter. What stops you all from learning the techniques which will save your father, mother, your neighbor or your uncle for that matter? You know what happened after Cristiano Jr. died? They asked us to train everybody in CPR and AED. They asked us. Please understand, if you go to the airport, you find problem. And cardiac arrest, fortunately, he survived. He has got now a small machine. And the only case. Now recently, There was another player in FC Barcelona who suffered of the same problem, and he has also been told you cannot continue playing football. So please understand, I was talking to you, do the blood test at 15 years of age. Blood test to find out what is your blood sugar, to find out what is your blood cholesterol, to find out what is your blood pressure. And you do the ECG, then it tells you, okay, I am safe, I am not safe, I need to take precautions. This is part of prevention, my dear friends. You select the players in your team. They have to do vigorous exercise. That means the heart is loaded with a lot of exercise. How do you know that the heart is ready to take up the load of your, because now the hearts are weak also because of your lifestyles, because of more sugar. And therefore, if you can avoid sugar in your tea or coffee, nothing like it. But youngsters are youngsters. Without sugar, it is not even possible to think. In our olden days, what and how did our grandparents survive? They also needed sugar. What were they putting? This refined sugar that you are putting is absolutely nonsense. Adi kit gatale idhar, God gatale, jaggery, honey. But the problem now, you don't know whether your jaggery is good, and you don't know whether your honey that you get. If you ask with Daburs or Patanjali honey, they are all 420. They are cheap, and that's why you fall for it. Buy organic, natural honey, which is a little bit costly, but it has got all the nutrients, it has got all the vitamins. But it is costly, my dear friends. I use no jaggery, no honey, but I have now made it a habit to have tea, green tea without sugar. You have seen of late birthday celebrations, big cakes, lot of icing. Somebody tells you, cut the cake, let us say it is Chiri's birthday. He is told, cut the cake, he does it. And then his friends will come, one piece in your mouth, other friends will come and put it all around his head and the body. Am I right or wrong? This is the latest practice. Correct practice. Good practice. Why? All that sugar that is there has to be put outside, not inside. You see the message? You see the message? Because that is the worst type of sugar that you have. High fructose corn syrup. High fructose corn syrup is the one which is creating problems, my dear friends, for you. All the cakes, muffins, hot dogs, all that. Your tomato sauce has got a lot of sugar. Your white bread has got a lot of sugar. And people, they don't have time to make rotis, chapatis or parotas at home. You are using maida instead of atta, and that is creating problems. You are eating white polished rice, you get polished, you get sugar. And what is the rice that should be eaten? That's your red rice, brown rice. Very soon you are going to get black rice also. But people will not want black rice because it takes pretty long time. Your guess, kaba zatolo. So that's why. But the best rice, if you ask me, is the black rice. Little bit costly, but it takes little longer time. It's called the forbidden rice in China. But I use ukre tandoor at home, little costly. The fiber which is that brown, that is very, very important, my dear friends. All your ice creams, I will give you the example of vanilla ice cream. In vanilla ice cream, there is no real vanilla. It is essence, flavor of vanilla. What is that flavor? I'll explain to you. Whenever you get lice on your head, you use a powder called lysyl. Lysyl kills lice. The essence which is used for vanilla ice cream it is called piperonal or peperonal. The vanilla that is used in your ice cream is also called piperonal or peperonal. And you relish your now ice cream, vanilla ice cream. Lice killer. Lice killer in your vanilla ice cream. How beautiful. Somebody talked about your food. All processed food that you are eating, Uncle Chips, Kurkure, layers, ice creams, cakes, is artificial. Throw it out. Throw it out. There are substitutes. We need to eat what is grown on the fields, but be careful about the insecticides and pesticides and the genetically modified foods that we are now getting. We are making our life very complicated. God had made it very simple. God had given you water. God has given you tender coconut. God has given you sugar cane juice. The best juices that you can have. Nothing like your tender coconut, what it has also got potassium. You have got plenty of fruits that are needed. You don't need to have an ice cream. And if you are eating fruits and vegetables, see that the fruits are eaten 30 minutes before your actual meal. There is a reason for that. But Indian style, you eat all your food, last is your fruit. It gets rotten in your stomach. Because the fruit takes only 20 minutes for digestion. But I don't know who, 7 to 1 or 2, 4 or 5, and so your digestion, it takes 3. If you are eating red meat, it may take 4 hours. Pork meat, it may take 4 or 6 hours. Vegetarian food is easily digested, and vegetarian food is more healthier than non-veg food. Don't accept what we tell you. Challenge. Please challenge me. Ask me why 1 hour before. No white light or blue light. Why? Sleep. God has made day and night. There must be a reason. The night is to put you to sleep. God also said, I will put you to sleep in the night and I will give you instant sleep. And to get that instant sleep, God has given you one hormone called melatonin. And the moment there is darkness, God releases this melatonin. Control of all of us. God has given us natural laws. We are not obeying them simply. We have become too sophisticated. You needed COVID to this is important. Your face mask is important. Face shield maybe. Distancing is important. Washing the hands is a must. And to wash the hands, there are 7 or 8 steps. Not the way that we are washing. Specialists are talking about the problems that we are facing, and the problems that we are facing is heart attacks in their 20s and 30s, my dear friend. You are eating rubbish. You are not sleeping properly. And because of this COVID, everybody is sitting inside and we have become caoutchouc potatoes. Bodies are made for moving. Understand that. Indians, I have told you, they get all these problems 10 years before. And lot of youngsters and women started smoking. And smoking, maybe not so much in India, but in Europe, this is a very big problem. Alcohol is another one. To stay away from alcohol is the best thing, if you ask me. Wine may be okay. Red wine may be okay because of the polyphenols. But if it is really red wines, then it could be okay. Not the cheaper wines that we have. Now, we do not know why sudden cardiac arrests are happening. Nobody knows the problem, but they say that it could be obstructive cardiomyopathy. I will make it very simple. Your heart muscle gets enlarged, it becomes big, and that is the problem. The term is slightly difficult for us to understand, but I have shown it to you. What is a heart attack? I talked to you earlier. These are the blood vessels. These are the blood vessels which supply oxygen and nutrients to your heart muscle. You can see here very clear, and you see here this plaque formation. And I have shared with you the cardiac arrest. There are two small nodes here. You have got SA node and AV node. Two small generators at the top in the atrium, right atrium, and their job is to give electricity for your heart. Let us check whether we have good electricity or not. We are all going to check our pulse right now. To check the pulse, we use two fingers or these three fingers. Never use the thumb. Never use the thumb. We use these two or three. We will measure our pulse for 1 minute, and the second part I will tell you after you check your pulse. Please extend your right hand like this. Put your left hand over your thigh. Relax. Raise your right hand like this. Bring the three fingers together. Any hand, left or right, no problem. Any hand down, any hand up. Bend your fingers. They are now in one alignment. Now watch how do you place these three fingers. You have a line here and you have got a bone outside, the radial bone. Put these three fingers just outside the line. Press over it and leave it. Press and leave it. This side, in the line of your thumb. Tum bito gela. Bairyo. Come in the line of the thumb. Did all of you get your pulse? Pulse aha mare tumka? You are alive, so pulse must be there. Did you all get it? I will ask you to count, and you start with 1, 2, 3, and so on and so forth. Be ready. Get ready. Start. Stop. We have measured the pulse for 1 minute. I will tell you what should be the number. There is no one fixed number for everybody. Minimum 60, 60. Maximum 80, 80. 90 chelega. Not very good, but it is okay for Indians. Average 72 beats per minute. Some of you may have, now if you check my pulse, 54 or 56. I do my exercise every day without failing for 1 day, and therefore my pulse is little lower. It is excellent, my dear friend. Maybe some of you have also lower pulse if you know the correct style of breathing. We are all breathing wrong. When we breathe, take care inside, your stomach and chest should come out. And when you are breathing out, expiration, it should go inside and air has to come out. whenever I am tired, I feel exhausted, I do an exercise in breathing called 4-7-8. 4-7-8. What it means? I take air inside and I count 4. Hold it, count 7, and when you breathe out through the mouth, very, very slow, and count 8. What is important? Take air inside, this must expand. When you breathe out, this has to go inside. All of us are breathing like this. When you take air inside, therefore you feel tired. And when you take air inside, have 1 or 2 seconds stationary so that more oxygen is taken by your hemoglobin. But you feel more tired, my dear friend. There are simple things that we need to do. Now, the most important thing, 1 minute. Now, watch this. Your heart should beat like this. Regular beats. When we talk of cardiac arrest, look at the beats. Missing or skipping beats. If any one of you had now missing or skipping beats, I would advise you to go to a cardiologist or a heart specialist. They are called arrhythmias. Irregular beats we have. The other day I was at a course in ONGC in Betul, and when I was doing this exercise, so I have irregular beats. Then we diagnosed him as arrhythmia. We shifted him then to the Apollo hospital, and then he was given a small pacemaker, the cardio water, and I was talking to him yesterday. He says, now I am fine. So check your beats have to be strong. After yes.
Irregular heartbeat is a normal activity.
Irregular heartbeat, that means there is some problem with your nodes, with your generators. They are not functioning to their full capacity. So you need to go to the doctor. ECG has to be done, and this ECG has to be done for 24 or 48 hours. We have now what are called the Holter ECG. Holter. You are told, you go home and the machine records for 48 hours. If there is a irregular heartbeat, you need to take proper care, my dear friend. Very often we do not know, we do not take care. That's why this test ECG is essential. Without ECG you will not know exactly. But this gives you an indication that there is some abnormal electricity. It can lead to cardiac arrest. Therefore you have seen these are the two different things. Cardiac arrest is more dangerous than heart attack, my dear friend. You need to check, and if you read this, you will understand what exactly both are. I have more or less explained this to you. That's the reason why I said, if tomorrow you decide, "Arey, exercise kor paas aayo," please don't start immediately. You must see what is the condition of your heart. Your heart cannot bear that speed. It will conquer. There are people who were told, do exercise. They started doing vigorous exercise, collapsed and died. And they blamed the person who had talked to them about the need of exercise. Assess the condition of your heart. Maybe Michael, you are maybe 35. Let us say Michael's age is 35. His heart may not be 35. His heart may be 50. So how do you know that? Unless you do this test, you don't know how good or bad is your heart. Blood test, one side, several tests. Magnesium is needed for good functioning of the heart. Bananas give you all the magnesium that you need. That's why eating of the fruits is very, very important. There are blood tests, there is ECG, there is echo test, there is a treadmill test. You may not need all those tests, but ECG will give you an indication. Then the doctor will say, you go for echo, go for treadmill test. All that will be. Today we have got all these machineries. Tie up with your GMC, tie up with the GMC and get them for all your athletes and whatever. It is costly too. I tried to do this and we had a tie with Manipal. And Manipal said this will be the cost, and the club said we don't have that money. I don't know how you can solve this for your staff, for your students, but this is a very big problem. So, sudden cardiac arrest is not the same as a heart attack. The person is unresponsive, not breathing, heart has stopped, you need CPR and you need AED. For here, he is in his senses, he is breathing, heart is beating, doesn't need CPR and AED. But we recommend that everyone should be trained in CPR. This is just a machine. I would advise that every college should have at least one AED. Automated. Now there are different types. Minimum will cost about 35,000, but a good one, standard one, about 85,000. At least one machine you should have for all your matches. Now I am talking about even your practice matches. Don't, any inter-class, whatever it is. A student collapses, then what do? You think that all the training, all the equipment, all the teachers in America, without a certificate in CPR and AED, you are not given the employment. Doctors, unless they do this program, for the doctors we call it the BLS, Basic Life Support. In England, they charge a bomb for BLS, about ₹1,00,000. We charge here 35,000. Lot of people from England come to us to do the training. Training is the same, but that it is in pounds. So multiply by whatever figure it is there. But in America, you cannot get a job without the certification. So understand what we have been talking. I am not going to go into all this, but this picture will tell you exactly. I was talking about the coronary arteries, muscle damage, that is your heart attack. I am not going to go through all, but this is a clear indication of how cholesterol deposits do take place. This is your muscle being enlarged. See the heart and see the size. This gives a problem in your current. There can be also some problem, embolism. It's a different type of a problem that we can get. This is what you need to do, the pressing of the heart, cardiac massage. Anybody can learn this. Anybody. Everybody should learn this, if you ask me. And this is the two pads for the shock to be given. You cannot do both at the same time. These are the now this player who came back, they put something like this. implantable cardioverter defibrillator and connected to the heart, and he is now in a position to resume his normal work but not footballing career. This is what has been done. You can see here the ICD. Machine. The machine talks to you. The machine tells you, do this for 2 minutes. After that, the machine will tell you, I am going to give a shock. Don't touch the casualty. Shock is given automatically. After the shock, machine will tell you, I am going to give shock again, or you are asked to do CPR for 2 minutes more, because I think it's we are gone into 1 o'clock. Yes, I've exceeded by 2 minutes. Now you have to establish that a person is unconscious. To check whether you are conscious or not, we do what is called as the APU test, AVPU test. Call out his name, ask few questions, determine he is unconscious, then you start with the machine. If you are conscious, the machine will tell you, we cannot give you a shock. Beautiful machine, let me tell you. Session is open for all your questions, my dear friend. Any doubts that you have, please ask me. Don't feel shy. We are here to learn from one another as much as I would like and love to learn from all of you who are present here. I am not going to go into all this. I will only stress on this part because all of us have to eat. If you can do away with your jalebis, gulab jam and all these products, ice cream, all soft drinks are bad, including your own juice and all the natural juices. For me, sugar is a poison, and all these have sugar. Why youngsters love to have ketchup and sauce? Because of added sugar, my dear friends. Why you love to buy sliced bread? It is a chemical bread with a sugar. You don't realize that. So this is important. Natural fruits, natural juices. And I talk to you, best time to eat fruits on an empty stomach, much better. Don't eat fruits before bedtime. I am not going to. This is the last slide that I have for you. We are all going to have lunch now. We'll have dinner tonight. Ask yourself, does it conform to this food plate? Very important is your vegetables. Raw, leafy, green, rainbow color, especially red in color. Very important. Fruits is the next. Eat fruits before 30 minutes. You have whole grains, whole wheat bread. Limit refined grain like white rice and white bread. Limit. Then you have got healthy proteins, dal, beans and all that, it is here. Not so much of red meat. Then you have got healthy oils, and water is what we all need to have, my dear friends. Biscuits are bad because they are using trans fats, fat which is heated at high temperatures. Cake is bad. Again they use oil which is heated at high temperature. It becomes trans fat. You are eating too many biscuits and then you develop all the problems, my dear friend. Check your weight. Very important. Check your weight. Very important. And simplest method of checking your weight. Earlier we used to go for BMI formula. We don't now much believe in the BMI formula, but we believe in something else. I talked about all this. Obesity is a big problem. This is old style. Still you can do it if you want, but I will not recommend. This is what all of us can do this evening when we go back home. All of us have got a tape. Use the tape just above the belly button, just above, and I will give you the numbers. Now here you have. So for men, 35 centimeters is the limit. For women, madam, 31.5. You can do this check, and you'll find, because earlier BMI was for this accumulation of fat. More important is your visceral fat. This fat which is there here, it is attached to all your organs. It becomes a very big problem. Cut down this fat of your stomach, please. Very important. Simplest measure that I have given to you. You don't have to do any calculation. You can do this tonight when you go home, my dear friends. This is the same one. So this is how we calculate. Control your salt. Salt biscuits are bad. If you want to eat nuts, cashew nuts, salted cashew nuts are bad. Go for simple. Nuts are good for health. Walnuts, for example, is one of the best that we have, my dear friends. So I don't think so we need a waist of over 32 inches for women and 36 inches for men is a danger sign. You can remember this number. So I think I will. There's plenty of matter if you want to do, but we started a little bit late and I don't want to delay your lunch. Any questions from the? Please ask questions.
Doctors say certain fruits are not so good, like mango and
Bananas for diabetes.
Now,
and pineapple.
if you are a person without any problem, eat everything. To kaina, pressure na, diabetes na, kaina, sagle ha. But one principle in moderation. कितने बड़ा हमें कोता है एक principle उगरास दो. I am playing. I cannot play for 5-6 hours. 2 hours rest. You are eating. Fukot menu. Bahare mo naga. Motalo. Anything in moderation, my dear. You are working. Why the work hours are restricted? So remember one principle in life. Everything in limits. If you want to drink, for example, we say that half peg or full peg. Eja chod khanda na. If you want to drink red wine, limit hai. I can go on talking till 6 o'clock now. I have got matter with you. Plus I have got my computer. I can talk to you till night also. Will it be healthy? So, I will come to your. If you are a diabetic person, you have to control your sugar. The best is to have, banana is not very good, unless the green banana. Adi metal yamka green banana. A green banana nice, not high number. You have apple. But apple kita na madam ay dale. Madam kitko hath janto apple. Kati kata ani viral hoita. Sogle vitamins and minerals ki viral hoita. Hai na ka apple.
Because of
Doctor defending the vice principal को इनको support देता आता के vice principal wax खाता है कि हम खबर रहा wax काढून जाता chemical का chemical भी काढून जाता है gas काढून के सांगतो ना give me money तो मैं फुकट देता है सगळे therefore it has got no value. See, problems are there, solutions are coming. You have to wash all your vegetables and fruits first with salt water. Keep them for half an hour. Then there is something else better than that. आज सांगना तुका. म्हाका आनी एकदा आपय. तूं आपयच ना म्हाका. इतले प्रॉब्लेम पळय हाय सगळ्या सोल्युशन आहाय. But remember, what you eat is what you are. Am I right?
Yes.
You are what you eat. बरे दोतोर? दोतोर सांगणार? ना तुझ्या किती हंगा सांगणार? Red wine? Red wine. So all fruits are good. Best fruit is pomegranate. अच्छा मारो kiwi is another very good fruit. हांव कितें करता तुका? I eat fruits. Salad करता केन्नाय. Because they have to be colorful. All fruits don't have all the vitamins and minerals. ताका लागून mix करता. Same with your vegetables. Best vegetable is raw, leafy, green, colored. Then steam them. You get nutrients uttai. Tu randu lagalo, you lose. And steaming is much better than cooking vegetables. There is an art in what we need to do. I hope I have answered your question. Any other question? Any? It's Sankwa, Dr. Matthew? Yes?
You say moderately we should eat, but intake will depend on type of work also.
Yes. तू तरी काम जाल्यार physical work कोता चड हावपाचें पडटा because you need more energy. तूं बसोन आहा फुकट मेळून बरें जाता तें चलपाक. Your mind also needs food. Your brain also needs food. Your heart needs food. All our organs need energy. Need good energy, not bad energy. Depending on your work is the quantity. God has given us 5 fingers and 1 hand. Kitaku? Tui kela re? Pass what tui kela? Hat tui kela? And John kela. Kita John so kela? Vice principal answer this matter. I asked God. I met God one day. Dr. Asota. I really met God. And he talked to us. You must know how to make God talk. Then I said, 1 lakh of rupees for half an hour.
That is not good.
That is not God. There must be always humor in whatever you do. Please understand. To make it little interesting, you have to create sometimes humor. God said, you need to have 5 nutrients. Carbohydrates, fats, proteins, minerals and vitamins. I gave you that slide just before this. All 5 are there, my dear friends. This we talk of carbohydrates, energy, takat chaye, carbohydrates, proteins, muscle building. तो एक जिमा होता है and very protein आता है. I don't know whether it helps or not, but you need protein. You need fats. 3 in large quantities, macronutrients. 2 in small quantities, vitamins and minerals, micronutrients. 5 देवान केला है bottom. ये 5 हिंगा है. आणि हे पड केला उदक. We cannot beat God. Can you? I don't know. Dr. Matthew will tell. So understand, सगळे आमगे body composition has got some significance, my dear friends. Drink as much water as you can. To get into the mouth yellow, it could mean you are not drinking sufficient amount of water. So I always look at the color of my urine. Every 15 days I look at my stools. One minute, one kids सांगत रे. If there is little redness or black like tar, I know that I could be having the cancer, colorectal cancer. This is very, very common. You can be your own doctor, my dear friends. You can be your own doctor. Follow certain principles. And all of you who are 50 plus, that's why you are 50 plus like me. Prostate is a very big problem, my dear friend. Prostate is here. Together, mutop, easy zaina, mutop, the easy zaina, bond data, temyani mut pota, please go to the doctor. This is very common problem with Indians. Prostate cancer is number 2 or number 3. Like breast cancer. If you have got any moles, 8 or 10 days after your menstruation, you should use your own hands and check whether there is any growth inside. You can be the first to detect a cancer, my dear friend. You can do it. It's easy. You lie down and just do this. Any mole which is there, go to the doctor, they will do mammography and you will be diagnosed, because there is cure for all the problems if provided you are early detection, early cure. This is the mantra. And to wind it up, coconut oil for hair, excellent, my dear friend. Excellent. I must congratulate our vice principal for, I think, what you are is also because of your coconut oil. Thank your mother for that. So let me thank Principal Dr. Radhika, though she is not here. She told me has some interviews. Only I told her, I must share with you what I have told her. The last where we met, you had invited me at the Goa University. And there was a vice chancellor. Tu ashillo, oi. Churi ashillo. And I told her now, last time you were there as a registrar, and I said, when the vice chancellor was about to go retire, I said I was expecting her to take over as vice chancellor. I just shared that with you. Uncle, not that he is not ours. Took a vacancy too. Sorry, I'm just. Thank you very much, Dr. Michael, for having invited me. Please convey my thanks to my good friend, Dr. Radhika. Thanks to you. And thanks to all of you. Rally to me till the end. I must thank you. I call you Maka. This is your privilege. I am so touched with your presence here. May God bless you. Prayer is important, my dear friends. Prayer is important. Faith in your Creator is important. We lose this faith and we lose the trust. The more you pray, the more faith you have, more trust you have, God will never leave you alone. It has happened with me. That's what I am sharing with you. I am 73 now. God has protected me, and I know that God will protect me tomorrow also. To each and every one of you, thank you very much.
I now request Dr. Aruna to give a formal vote of thanks.
Thank you, Dr. Michael. On behalf of SS Dempo College of Commerce and Economics, I would like to thank Mr. Jovito Lopes for bringing us back to basics, things that we learned in school, things that we learned from our parents, our grandparents. And the tragedy of it is that today we even try to change our parents and grandparents in their eating habits, even though those eating habits are much more healthier than what the kind that we would follow. I remember some years ago where my daughter asked me, I've never allowed them to have, till now they're teenagers, they've never tasted soft drinks, and I do not allow them to have sugar either. So once my daughter asked me, why should we be the healthiest children in the world? Everyone else is having soft drinks, sugar. I said, that's your whatever. You're fortunate or unfortunate. You will realize that later on in life. Anyway, there are a lot of things that we need to follow, going back to basics, and we are glad that Mr. Jovito Lopes has reminded us of all those practices, habits that we need to follow. A big thank you to all of you for attending today's talk and the session prior to that. Thank you one and all.
Thank you. Should any one of you want me in your own places, I am there for you. You student, your village, whomsoever, call me. My number is there. Most of you have. Call me. If I am free, I will come. Very good question that you have raised. Now, if you can prepare the same items with jaggery, so you tell them you prepare neori gori kora sakari por ami te galta ti galna ka पण use good jaggery, natural organic jaggery which is there. Now jalebis and all those should be avoided if you ask. But sweets that we make, we can always make them, but